What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, Delinda.
What's up?
My brother, Derek.
What's up, everybody?
And my friend, Dan.
Yo, yo, yo.
This week, you guys, we are, of course, going to be talking about the second episode of Loki that dropped earlier this week. So that is going to be interesting. We're going to give our thoughts in things on that.
Wow.
We're going to give our thoughts on
Wow.
Loki. But first, Delinda had some information. We did a few weeks ago watch the movie Greenland, and there's going to be a sequel?
There's going to be a sequel called Greenland Migration, I believe.
Greenland. I'm going to crack my voice again because apparently, being 30 years old, my voice still cracks. So Greenland Migration? Is that I'm just going to make it.
Yeah. So it's going to be about the family trying to reestablish themselves, finding a new place to live, that type of deal. And now they're in Europe and not America anymore. So I think it's kind of interesting to me.
How'd they make it to Europe?
Greenland is in Europe.
Okay, I thought when you said Europe, I thought you meant like Europe. I'm not thinking.
You said
Okay,
Europe.
fine,
I thought you meant like not Europe.
Well, because she said Europe and not Greenland. Like, we know they're on Greenland, and so she's like, but now they're in Europe. Like, it was a different spot. So, whatever. Okay, so they're still in Greenland.
Yes.
All right.
So it's about them like trying to find a place to live, establish themselves, and dealing with the aftermath of the comet hitting. I think it's kind of interesting because I feel like that's a part of like disaster movies that we never really see.
Mm-hmm. How they survive afterwards.
I was just thinking that. I was like, that's a new twist.
Yeah,
'Cause we never see what happens after the disaster.
I am always interested in that aspect of these movies, which we never get. So yeah, definitely. I want to. That was a topic idea I had too. It was like, what would you do if you were the last person on Earth or last family on Earth or something like that?
How many people are with you? Is it just your family?
I guess I don't know.
Then you would just die.
You're gonna die.
Or maybe it's a few people, but like the
What's-
plan.
Yes, it has to be a few
Last Man
people
on
because
There was a TV show. It was a comedy, Last Man on Earth.
Okay, I thought so.
It started
yeah,
off
it
pretty
was.
funny. And
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I don't know, it got annoying after a while because everyone hated him for. I mean, I guess they had legit. It was annoying though. Yeah.
So don't watch it, is what you're saying?
No, the first season at least is pretty funny.
The first season.
Yeah.
Out of like how
wow,
many
it had
seasons?
multiple seasons.
Yeah, it had multiple seasons. Newsflash, he's not the last man on Earth. But the second season I didn't finish.
Okay, so don't watch it, is what you're saying. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, okay. That is interesting about Greenland.
Yeah, I believe production is set for 2022.
Okay. So we'll get in 2023.
Probably. Yeah, everyone's coming back, so.
All right. That's dope.
That says everyone like there's more than 2 people in this movie, so.
Right. They're probably going to replace the kid.
They got to. Because he's like
Yeah, because he
probably
got to
like
be older.
15 now or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just Gerard Butler and
More.
I'm going to know. One of these days, I'm going to figure out her name.
Something. I don't remember.
Jean
Sorry.
Grey.
What?
No.
Not Jean
Famke?
Grey.
That's
Lee
Famke
Thompson.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lee Thompson.
Lee Thompson. And Deadpool's girlfriend.
She is so much more than that. You guys should apologize for that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I did
Wow,
not
Derek.
identify
Wow.
her as that this time.
Darren did it the last episode.
And he was awful in the last episode for that.
I don't know her
Playing the
name.
blame
I haven't
game
really
here,
seen her in
huh?
anything. So, like, come on.
She be in a bunch of stuff.
That I haven't watched.
Okay, fair enough. But
But
still,
I'm sure she's awesome.
Yeah, she was good in Greenland. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any other
That was
news
it.
on that? That was it? Okay,
Yes.
cool. So we will talk about Loki, episode 2. I forget the title of
The
this episode.
variant.
The
A
variants.
variant, yeah.
The variant.
Are
The
we
variant.
variants?
Yes, we are.
Yes. What
No, I
decision
won't.
did you make?
Hey, I'm the superior timeline there.
Yeah, now you sound like Loki.
All the other
Superior.
ones are
I'm the
lesser.
superior, Derek. You sure about that? No. All right. So, okay. Second episode. I thought it was a bit interesting. Well, I guess spoilers for Loki episode 2.
Yes.
So, if you haven't watched it, make like a variant and go through a time portal.
Or you could just press play on Disney
Oh,
Plus.
yeah, true.
The latter would be easier.
As you can see, audience, we do not have writers because they would have denied DJ for that comment.
Like, no, you
Excuse
cannot.
me. DJ says whatever he wants on this podcast.
Since we don't have writers, but if we did,
All right, so yes, I thought this episode was a little interesting. In the beginning, I thought it felt like kind of a detective series, which I was like, huh, that's different. I think it got away from that towards the end of the episode, but that made me think a Detective Marvel series might be pretty good.
Isn't Moon Knight a detective?
Is he? Oh, okay. He
He
is
might
like
not be. I'm
Marvel's
asking.
Batman, so
Right. I that's what vibe. I thought if he was like Marvel's Batman, then he might be a detective.
yeah. Okay. So maybe
That's
we
an
are
interesting
getting
point.
I don't know what that show's gonna be about though.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, I really don't know about Moon Knight, like at all.
I know
I feel
he's-
like about Moonlight is like how like with Guardians of the Galaxy when they were coming out with that is like I have no idea who these people are.
yeah.
That's how I feel
had
about
heard
Moon Knight.
of Moon Knight before, at least. I definitely never read any of his comics or anything like that.
Yeah, I know the name, but that's it. Like I couldn't tell you what his powers were, or even what he looks like
Batman without,
without the ears,
yeah. I think he has a hood.
like a hoodie.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
a
and he
hood.
wears white.
He has a hood. He
wears
wears
white.
white, and he has a bow staff
Does he have
like
a bow staff?
Nightwing.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yes.
Egyptian, I think.
Mm.
Or does it take
And
place in Egypt?
he also
I think he
also
gets
used
powers
guns
from
too.
Egypt.
Okay.
From the
Alright,
moon.
He gets his powers from the moon.
From
What?
the moon?
Hence Moon Knight.
What?
I don't know
I'm-
if that's true.
No,
Actually,
no,
I think his powers are up in the air because he has dissociative identity disorder or multiple personalities, as most people know it. So they're saying like he may have made up the story of how he got his powers on like because he's got all
I'm
those
sure it didn't come
personalities.
from the moon.
Yeah.
Don't
It
even make
sounded
any
like
sense.
a pun.
No, it said his strength comes and goes with the moon. That's
What
what
does
it
that
says.
mean? So he's
So
stronger.
at night he's strong, and in the daytime he's weak.
What if it's a new moon?
Basically,
Is he stronger during a full moon?
yes.
Probably if your power comes from the moon.
It's
Yeah.
dumb. The moon is always there.
You should
I don't
probably
know.
Hey.
We were talking about Loki though. Everybody has definitely turned this podcast.
Sorry.
Like, when are they gonna get to Loki? All right. So in this
Sorry,
episode,
guys.
Loki has been hired by the TVA basically to find this Loki variant, and basically that's what happens in the episode. They go off, and Loki figures out how to find them. We'll talk about how, and they do find them.
I thought it was funny that they gave him a jacket and it said variant on the
It
back.
said variant on the back. Yeah. Outside of that, it was a dope jacket. Outside of it saying
He did look pretty
variant
good
on
in
the
that
back,
jacket,
I'm like,
though.
that's a dope jacket.
He wears it well. I'm not a fan of the color, but he does wear it well.
Everything in the show is kind of brown.
I think it's like a prison color, cause like that's the same color his prison uniform
Yeah,
was.
well,
Well, not prison,
I
but
was
his captive
saying
uniform.
you're right. In the first episode, when I was like, Morbius or not Morbius, Mobius is beige.
Mobius. Mobius.
Yeah.
I feel like the snippets I've seen from the comics, like when YouTube explains things to me, everything is like this beigey color.
Yeah.
When it's dealing with them.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a choice.
I think it has more to
Okay.
do with the bureaucracy. It's supposed to represent their like deep bureaucracy, so they're this boring type of plain thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we did get to see several Loki variants, probably not ones we'll see during the show. But okay, so we had a Loki that won a Tour de France or something.
Yes.
like
I was
that.
just like, is this Lance Armstrong?
Um, you had a Hawk-like Loki.
Yeah. Some of the other Lokis were based off of like different versions of Norse mythology,
Okay.
which is where Loki is from.
Yeah.
So like some of those were like
Yeah.
variants of that, and then variants of different forms he's taken in the comics also.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, if the TVA clips their branches immediately, how do you get variants that are that different? Right? Because to be that different, wouldn't you need a timeline that has gone on for some time to have someone that is that different from Loki?
Well, the thing is, there is multiple timelines. It's just they're choosing this particular timeline to be the number one timeline. There's
Yeah,
still
and they're
other
cutting
timelines.
off all the other timelines, right? Isn't that like what they do?
Right, like clipping all the branches, right?
Yeah,
According to the video, that demonstration, I feel like that's what they were trying to do. It's supposed to be just one timeline, and they clipping all the other ones off.
yeah. All right,
Just
I
one,
want to
like
talk
master or whatever.
about the TVA. Now, last time, Delinda, you said you didn't want them to be the bad guys, right? I've got this feeling, and I don't think that it's going to be, because you're like, it's going to be the same thing that was in some of the other shows, where it's like this group, they're supposed to be good and they're not good. I don't think it's going to be that exactly. Loki had a line in this episode that I think makes a lot of sense. Loki said, "I know something more than children do, that no one who's good is all good, and no one who's bad is all bad."
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what it is with the TVA, because Loki has a point. If there's a sacred timeline, then there is no free will. And they're like, well, yeah, technically, but no, because anytime someone deviates from what you thought it was, you clip it. So even though people, yes, are making their choices, they have to make the choice you want them to in order to continue on your sacred timeline, which means there's no free will, which means like at its core, this isn't right.
Right. Which is what he was getting at, and which I agree. I think they are heading in that way because, Mobius is like, oh, I basically, I do whatever the timekeepers tell me to do, and it's all great. And Loki was like, well, what happens when you get to the end of time? And he's like, oh, that's just it. And it's just like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I agree. Like, I feel like it's going to get to the point, like, where we're going to see the timekeepers and realize, like, they're playing God, and they don't have the right to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's question whether or not one of the timekeepers is Kang the Conqueror. I don't think so, but what do you guys think about that?
I don't think so.
Mm,
I don't
it
think
would
so.
be a bit of a reach.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how them doing that, but I don't think that they would do that. Like, what would be the point of changing that?
Yeah, making him a timekeeper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
see that maybe something that happens on this show gives hints to him, but I think that's about it. Because I mean, we talk about like when it comes to the MCU, where it's just like, oh, this is gonna be connected to this, and this is gonna be connected to this, and basically it'd be 2 lines or a half of a scene.
But those 2 lines
So-
are awesome.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying that to say like I don't think they will deviate from what Kang the Conqueror actually is.
You would take so much
Like
away
I
from
don't.
him as a character if you
I
did
mean,
that.
I think he's going to be a little
Yeah.
different, but also a lot of people have these theories, and I'm going to say the same things with the other two TV shows. Look, Marvel's not going to introduce a extremely major character in one of these TV shows. Like,
Right.
so King the Conqueror, like, yeah, they may allude to him or something, and when you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, where we know he's going to be in that movie, you might see something in there like, oh, hey, that's like tying back into what happened in
Hmm.
Loki. But we're not going to get King the Conqueror in Loki. They're not going to start him off here.
No, no, they're not gonna reveal him
Yeah.
in this show
Well, what
because
I'm Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
you can't rely on people watching a Disney Plus show.
The
Yeah.
show. Hmm.
I mean, even if he got it revealed in the show, they'll do it again in a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Yeah.
odds are is that they're just not gonna do it in the show. Like you said, they'll hint at him or whatever, but they're not gonna do it in the show.
Yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
I feel like that would take away from the movies if you start introducing these major villains in these shows. I feel like it would take away from the movies, and I felt like you guys brought this out before. Is like, you can watch these movies and not have to watch the show and still understand the movies.
Right.
And it's like, I don't feel like Marvel is going to get away from that. It's just like, if you choose to watch everything, that's fine. But if you choose to watch just the movies or just the shows, you should be okay with understanding what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah, makes sense.
It would be better marketing.
Well, yeah, you figure the majority of people watching the movie aren't gonna watch the TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just how
That's
it
going
works.
to be a niche audience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I feel like with each show or each movie, like they do try to like bring in a new audience, like a new person, where this is like, oh, this might seem to be interesting, and they watch it, which helps Marvel because then they go back and watch all the stuff that they didn't see.
Yeah, during 2020, I've seen a lot on YouTube where people first time watching Marvel
Right.
movies.
But think about it, those first time movie watchers, they're not going to watch the TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
They might now be like, oh, these were good movies. I'll watch the movie. But they're not watching the TV show.
Yeah. Well, I talked to someone the other day, and they were like, that they were done with Endgame,
Yeah.
and they weren't planning on watching anything else.
Exactly. So,
So-
like, you can't do
But yeah,
anything
that's what I was
major.
gonna say, Darren. Because remember we was talking to Ryan yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
He was talking about Endgame. He was like, I just don't think that they're gonna top this. So they kind of was just like kind of checked out after that. Like everything
I
else
think
would
they
come after
probably
that. Like,
are
I'm
going
not
to
really
top
interested in it.
Endgame, though.
I feel like there's a lot of people with that mindset. So
Right.
I think Marvel probably knows that.
Yeah.
So these TV shows are kind of like just spot fillers to like I guess retain. I think retain the audience that they have and gain new audiences, but it's not going to be crucial as far as the movies go. The movies are still going to
And
be
these new
not completely
TV
separate, but
shows serve one purpose, and that's to make Disney more money.
Yes.
If there
That's gonna
weren't new
keep Disney
TV
Plus
shows,
alive.
there was no reason for a Disney Plus.
Yeah.
true. That's true.
So, I have a question, though. Now,
Yes, Dave.
the timekeepers, they talk a lot about them, and it's very vague, right? Especially that
Yep.
one judge played by Gugu Mbatha, or
Gosh.
what?
Why don't you just say what her character name was?
I don't know what her character's name is. Renslayer.
Renslayer.
Yes, there you go, Judge Renslayer. I don't think I messed her name up.
Let's just go with her character name.
Whatever.
In the next episode, we will know people's names.
Yeah, Judge Renslayer, especially like when she talks about him, it's like, oh, I dictate what they dictate to the thing. I'm like, do the timekeepers exist?
You know, I don't know if they like don't exist, but it seemed like when I was like, oh, she hasn't met them either.
Yeah.
So it was like, and she's like the top person. So who has seen these people?
I don't think anybody has
That
to.
was my theory. That was my theory that I was going to bring up. I don't feel like they exist.
Well, then who's running the show?
Or they do exist, and like Delinda said, no one's actually ever. Well, someone did in the beginning, but like no one has really spoken to them. Like I feel like the whole TVA is just acting on something that it couldn't. Maybe it's not even three timekeepers. It could just be one person. And then, if in that case, if you're saying like secretly they're being controlled by Kang the Conqueror, I would believe that, because who does stuff like
That's
this
a
to
good fan.
ensure that his timeline happens? Kang the Conqueror does that.
That's a good theory. You should
Ah.
call up Marvel. You had two
Uh-huh.
good ideas
Uh-huh.
2 weeks in a row.
Look at that. No.
Yeah.
It's marvelous.
Yeah.
Yeah, one marvelous idea.
See what I did there?
Yeah, so I am interested to see what they do with that, because I think they was definitely making a point to say like no one has talked to these people for real.
Yeah. No one knows who they are. No one even really knows their agenda.
Yeah.
And even the video we saw in the first episode is propaganda, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, the whole thing is, I mean, you listen to Mobius talk, it's like, the timekeepers do this and they do that, and we just follow along, and Loki's like, but why?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to find out what their goal really is.
Yeah. We got some more vulnerability from Loki this episode. They are really digging deep down into this character. I feel, but that's always good, especially with these Marvel TV shows. I like how they do. They've done it in each show.
Well,
So
I mean,
far.
I feel like you can't have the show be called after these characters and you don't get into a deeper involvement of the character.
I mean, you really be
I
surprised.
feel like this is what we missed with Thor. Like we saw like Thor growth, but it's just like we didn't really get deep into Thor as a character.
Until later on.
Same with Hulk. Yeah. And the same with Hulk. And I feel like with these TV shows, the TV shows allow you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Personal time.
Loki figures out by looking at the destruction of Asgard, which made him sad again, because Loki actually cares.
Mm-hmm.
But he figured out that the person they were looking for was hiding in disasters, which I thought was pretty clever.
Yeah, that's pretty ingenious, right? So you could do whatever you want, but it doesn't get noticed because it all get wiped away.
Yeah.
And you can just keep going back to the same place.
Yeah, if everybody's going to die anyway, whether he dies over here or over there, maybe it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Pompeii, though, I feel like is not as clean as they wanted to make it seem, right?
Okay.
Because people go through and explore Pompeii and all of that. You change something there, that means an archaeologist later
But
on.
was it a significant change? Instead of having goats die in a cart, they died outside of the cart.
Okay.
Which difference does it make?
Okay.
One, by the way, I knew
Yeah.
they were going to Pompeii.
Yeah.
I was like, what other disaster could they possibly go to that no one really cares about anymore?
Well, yeah, and everybody definitely died.
And everyone definitely died. I was like, oh, they're going to Pompeii.
Yeah.
So-
Right. Because even when he did all of that, the people were looking at him like, dude, what are you talking about?
I
Yeah,
gotta,
like the volcano was going to erupt and all of you going to die. And they just staring at him like, really?
Yeah, then it erupted. They're like, oh, snap.
I will say Tom Hiddleston, though, in that scene, he was like really on point. He was so extra.
Yeah.
But in like the best way possible.
That Loki extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm?
So that was pretty good. I wanted to say something about Mobius too, especially as we move on. So they figured out what disaster they were going to, which apparently was a hurricane in 2050 or something.
Yes, in New Haven, Alabama.
Yeah, that just got
Yeah.
destroyed. All right.
Come on.
The big hurricane.
Yeah.
I guess, climate change. So,
Get bigger and bigger every year.
so Mobius, I feel like is like we mentioned that whole no one's seen the timekeepers and stuff. I feel like he's starting to question it a little bit, right? He in the office with Judge Renslayer. He kind of questioned that, like, oh, hi, how are the timekeepers doing? What are they up to? Like, kind of not on the path, like they're supposed to be, because somehow the TVA acts kind of cult like in a sense.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he was kind of always a little bit that way. Like when you hear their conversation where she's just like, she's always had a problem with him, like him always doing something extra. And I feel like with the addition of Loki, that is going to be even more, where Loki's bringing even other stuff that maybe he didn't realize or think about too. Yeah. So I think like Loki.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I kind of picked up on that in the first episode, like their interaction. I'm like, it's something else going on between these two characters. Like it's like, I'm guessing, like I said, the TVA is like a cult. You know what I'm saying? So like when you got a cult, it's like you just do things the way that you do them, and there's no type of deviation. But Mobius comes in and he does things differently. And oh girl, what is her name? I can't remember her name. So I'm guessing she's like the head of this, the short-haired black girl.
One of the hunters.
Yeah, one of the hunters.
Yeah. I don't think she have a name?
It's Hunter or something. Like she doesn't have like a name.
Number.
It's a number.
B something.
Yeah, it's B something.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely her. She has a problem with the way that he's doing things.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that they're using Loki, it's like, and even he said, he was like, I know you don't, you have a problem or something with the way that I do things, but I think he can help us and blah blah blah. So it's like he's obviously going kind of left of what they're used to. So
yeah,
I feel like he's not all the way TVA.
Yeah, I feel like he has a habit of going off script.
Yeah,
but he gets results, which is why they allow it.
Yeah. It was another interesting thing when they were in 2050. You saw all the other TVA agents kind of being insensitive to the people that were about to die, right? And you saw him. He's like, hey, like show some class, basically. And they're like, they're about to die anyway. And it's like,
yeah,
but it was one thing I watched too. Another reason why they're like this playing God that the timekeepers are doing is a little weird, because you have this sacred timeline, but instead of going back or like, hey, let's prevent this disaster that happened in 2050 where all these people died, you're just going, oh no, this person clocked in late to work, let's cut them off. Like there's something way off about how you go about things there.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in last week's episode, is like, you have the sacred timeline. Why would you let Thanos happen?
Right.
And then, like, why would you let the Avengers bring everyone back, which was helpful and also not helpful?
Yeah.
Right. That caused a lot of problems.
Yeah, so it was just like, you guys have the sacred timeline, but you allow a lot of messed up stuff. Which, I mean, life can't be perfect. But, like, if an entire city gets wiped out,
yeah,
what's the benefit of that?
Or half the universe.
Yeah, or half the universe. What is the point of that?
Looking at you, Eternals. Step in.
Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, but we do find the Loki variants in 2050. And it is Lady Loki.
So I didn't know who Lady Loki was, but I was
you guys didn't, but that's why I didn't spoil it.
I was not surprised that it was a woman.
It did seem like it was.
It was pretty obvious it was going to be a woman.
It was definitely obvious.
Yeah. Dan was surprised.
Dan, you were surprised?
I was. Like, huh?
I have a few questions about her too, though.
Okay.
One, is she actually Loki?
So, I feel like she gives me some Enchantress vibes.
Yeah.
But apparently Lady Loki is an actual character.
Yeah, Lady Loki is, like, they didn't make it up. They didn't just say, hey, let's make
So,
Loki
because I was just like, this is Enchantress.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not, because Lady Loki is a thing.
Yeah, she also has the broken horn, the same that in the character.
I prefer she was Enchantress.
Yeah. I think what they're doing, And I could be wrong. I think they're gonna it's gonna be a mixture of the Enchantress and Lady Loki.
Oh.
I think that's what this character is gonna be,
And
kind of an amalgamation of that, um, because she's got powers to kind of mind control people.
Yeah.
And that's a Enchantress.
Right, because she's not even she's out doing her own thing, but she was controlling people within the warehouse.
Yeah, Loki can't do that, as far as I know. Which, I mean, I know variants have different powers, but
Right.
like that's definitely an Enchantress power, right?
Yeah.
And she looks a lot like
Yes.
Loki anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only difference with the actual Enchantress, she's only able to control men.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, they probably changed that. I mean, we
Yeah,
talking
you can
about
easily change that for the movie.
right. We talking about comics that they wrote back in the day, so there probably was, stupid childish reasons on why she could only control men.
Pheromones.
It was her pheromones, I believe.
See, I told you.
See, yeah,
100%.
Basically, I think it was like basically she was like the Marvel's version of Poison Ivy, but without the plants.
Oh, you mean she didn't actually have to kiss them to control them? Yes, what a
Nah.
progress we've made. Goodness.
Yeah, but no, I would put money on that. It's a mixture of the two characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting. Now, we all thought WandaVision was going to be like, oh, WandaVision is going to end in the multiverse and Wanda's destroyed everything. And that didn't happen. It cleaned up with no, actually, it did not with a nice little bow because Wanda definitely terrorized an entire town of people.
Yeah.
And didn't answer for it.
No, she ran away.
Yeah.
But they let her run away.
I'm just saying.
I'm like, Monica, I'm sorry, you want to be a hero. I mean, I understand you sympathize with her, but she needs to go to
She
jail.
still committed crime. She kidnapped 1,000 people.
Yeah. And kids.
Yeah.
She
should be on.
though?
Yeah, she did.
Yes, she did.
She really did.
Yes, she did. And she wasn't even using the kids.
I'm just saying, if Zemo gets sent to the raft, right?
Yeah.
Wanda has to be up in there with him.
Yeah. She can't be a hero anymore.
Like that's a
No.
bad idea.
Like no.
I mean, I don't know where you put her. Maybe you make her imprison her own mind or something. I don't know.
No, you probably can't capture her. I don't think it's gonna work.
However,
Yeah,
someone
that's
should at
something like that
least
working.
pretend that there's
Try?
yes.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have that in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in it, so you figure that out. Okay, but we thought the multiverse was gonna come in WandaVision. It didn't. However, I did not think on the second episode of Loki that
We get multiverses already.
yeah, like so the Loki variant, I'll just call her Lady Loki for now. She definitely bombed the timeline and created a multiverse. Second episode, I did not see that coming. As far as the second episode goes, I saw the multiverse coming. I didn't see it this early.
Right. I'm assuming they fixed the majority of it, and then maybe there's like one or two that doesn't get fixed, which leads into the movies. Here is my thought. And when I did this, I'm like, this is dumb. So everyone immediately rushed out so they can start clipping these different timelines. I'm like, did they just leave the TVA empty?
Yep.
I'm like, that's a horrible.
Yeah.
You never do that. I'm like, I'm saying to myself,
you never do
someone
that.
should stay behind. Even Renslayer got up and left, and I'm like, someone should stay
She got up,
behind.
grabbed a wand.
I'm like, that has to be part of her plan. She definitely has. Like, she is 7 steps ahead. She was
Yeah.
ready for them to be there.
Yeah.
In fact, wanting them to be there, which is why she kidnapped what C-20, the one.
Yes, C-20.
Yeah, like, yeah,
Was that the girl that whose mind she took over in the beginning?
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What can she kept repeating? He's real.
It's real.
It's real. And
Yeah,
then she
it's real.
said,
she was going nuts for a little bit.
and then she said she gave up the location of the timekeepers.
I want to see who these timekeepers are.
That would be in the very last 30 seconds of episode 6.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting. So multiverse, and I agree with Delinda. I
Yeah.
think it is gonna fix most of it, but it's all not gonna be fixed because something's got to lead into Doctor Strange. And again, you won't
Yeah.
have to watch Loki, but like there has to be a reason as to why the multiverse is splitting off, and this looks like it's probably gonna do that.
Um,
Hmm.
so is there nothing after Loki? Did we just go directly into the movies?
It's movies as far as this year goes. You got What If, but that's
That
not.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the cartoon.
What cartoon?
What if it's a cartoon?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What if it's a cartoon?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that was kind of weird with the show being what if and then continuing on with the sentence afterwards.
Well,
What
um,
if the show?
people are saying that maybe this leads into What If.
Oh, like those are the different timelines?
Like you have all these multiverses now,
Oh,
and so now the Watcher can be like, okay, well,
that's an interesting thing.
Do we need What If to be connected to anything?
no, but
Okay.
well, it makes sense because technically, what the TVA was saying is there's no multiverse. The MCU timeline is its own timeline. There is another interesting fact, which I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a lot of alluding to 616 at the end of Loki's little tape. When he watched his death and it was the end of the little tape, it said Earth 616 at the end of it. Now, in the comics, that's the comic book main storyline is Earth 616, and then all the rest are
Yes.
different Earths. Originally, the MCU was an Earth 199, whatever, a bunch of nines. But I think they're retconning it to be, because I think Kevin Feige said that the MCU is its separate multiverse. Like, so it's not a offshoot of the comics timeline. It is
Its
a
own
complete
timeline.
separate thing, meaning that the MCU timeline is 616 in the movies.
Okay.
That's what it seems like because it definitely said, I know they said it in Spider-Man, and I know Mysterio was lying, but he did say this is Earth 616. He was lying, but there was another thing pointing to that, and then now you have this tape at the end of Loki where that was Loki's death in Infinity War, and it said Earth 616. That is the main Marvel timeline for the movies.
So are the movies the of hold on. Is the movie the comic version of 616?
The main comics is the comics 616, and the movies I think they're saying it's now its own completely separate thing.
Okay.
And there was no multiverse, or I guess there was one in the past. There was none until now, and now you get this What If series.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
I don't think it matters, but people really seems to be excited about what Earth it is. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and I think Loki's kind of making fun of people that think it does as well.
well, I feel like Marvel gets off on like making people theorize about stuff that doesn't matter. Like I feel like WandaVision was the perfect example of that.
Yeah. Oh, with the
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
And they
Yo, dude, but come on, man. Like you put in the Quicksilver actor.
and I was like from the beginning, I was like, I'm telling you guys, this is nothing. And it was nothing.
Yeah.
And
Is that what you said?
yes.
They
Yes,
like
it was.
trolling.
Yeah, she was the only one. Yeah, she was the only one that was like, nah, you thinking more into it as possible. That's why, like with Loki, I'm like, I'm not thinking like weird and outside the box. I'm like, nope, it's been 2 shows already, and I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like Disney does this so you can theorize and theorize so you can go and like, oh, I gotta watch episode 3 now.
You get all this buzz going on, right?
And then nothing.
They definitely generate a lot of buzz with their
Yes.
TV shows.
They like trolling you and that's what they do.
So I want to see what's going to happen in the next
Correct.
episode. Obviously, we're going to be traveling to multiverses and seeing different Lokis, probably. And I don't know. I always find that interesting. I want to see some of the other multiverses. What happened?
I really don't care. I know people are like, super excited for like a multiverse. I don't get why, but
Secret Wars.
I don't know what that is.
It's like
They're wars and secret.
there were two of them. The first one was like pretty old, and that's when Spider-Man got the Venom symbiote. He got it from that Secret Wars.
Oh, so it did not happen as it did in the cartoon?
No,
No.
sorry, it didn't crash in the spaceship.
You should have seen the look he gave me. It was like,
you know he
poor
knows the
dumb
Spider-Man.
child.
Yo, man.
You know he know his Spider-Man.
Look, not that there aren't dumb Spider-Man storylines after Civil War.
Oh, after Civil War, Spider-Man gets real dumb.
That was real stupid. And then there was a newer Secret Wars, which I read nothing about, but that one was headed up by Doctor Doom. And that was, I think, like 2013 or something like that. And it definitely seems like that's where they're headed as to the next big in-game type deal. So, like, after a couple of phases,
Okay.
that's where we headed. And I think if they do that, you might not surpass in-game, but I think you can get back up to close to the hype of in-game.
And-
I was gonna say, yeah, probably just hype.
Yeah. And you need a multiverse to do Secret Wars?
That's what it's based off of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you
the
have
multiverses are
multiple
fighting.
of the same. Yeah.
That's what
You
I
have
mentioned.
multiples of the same character.
That's what I mentioned last week about the Illuminati. That was Secret Wars, and that's when they were destroying different Earths. Did I mention that on the podcast or off?
I think that
Off.
was off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
off the podcast.
Well, everyone's confused. They're like, Illuminati, what?
Sorry, that was our own private conversation that
No.
we're not talking about in public.
I don't belong to the Illuminati, guys. Don't worry. No. No, there's the Illuminati in the Marvel universe, and they were deciding to destroy other worlds to protect their own.
Oh, wait. Is this like that DC comic we read with the purple haired guy?
Kind of.
Infinite Crisis?
Yes.
Yeah. But
Oh.
way much better.
Way better.
But way much better.
Is this a good comic book series?
We should read it. I haven't read it, so don't know. We should read both. We should read the old one and then read the new one.
That's a
Let's
lot
do
of
it.
comic book
Do that.
reading.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do that.
Let's do it.
She over here like, okay, I didn't want to read that many comic books.
Well, that's what we do here, okay? It can't be worse than Crisis on
I
Infinite
know that
Earths.
was the worst thing
That
I've
was-
read in a long
Ooh,
time.
did we give that a 1? I'm pretty sure we gave that a 1.
Yeah, we definitely did.
It
was bad.
will, yeah. Yeah.
All right. I am willing to read it. I have to find it at the library first and then let you guys know.
Okay.
The library.
Yes, it's free that
And
way.
we had this conversation in the first episode of 3D Rivals.
Yes. You get free comic books from the library.
You get free comic books. It is free. She's right.
Yes. Why
I
would I
can
ever?
fit inside of a library, and I don't know how long.
You can download digital books. You don't have to go inside.
Oh, okay. Do I need a digital library card?
Yes.
You do. They rejected me the first time. I don't know what happened.
rejected
What,
for a
library card?
I got rejected for a library
You
card.
probably
Wow. If you got rejected for a
probably
library
had
card, I know I'm
to-
gonna get rejected.
had overdue library books.
I did not. I pay my bills, even if they're free.
I don't have.
It's like, come on, man.
think I
I
have
was
overdue library
13.
books.
Give me a
I
break.
didn't check out any books.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't figure out. So I had to physically go there because they rejected me when I signed for the digital.
But all right, that's about it for Loki episode 2. Any other thoughts y'all wanted to bring out?
No, I think it covers it well. I mean, just again, I like the chemistry between Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. I think it's great.
Agreed.
Tom Hiddleston's pretty great in this series overall.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, his acting is off the charts.
Yeah,
That's me. It is off the charts.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I'm like, if we can't get him in a James Bond movie, I at least want him in a spy movie. At least give me a spy movie with him in there.
He did
Is he
a
the next
spy
Bourne?
miniseries. Well, I guess it wasn't really a spy. He was kind of a spy in this miniseries. What was it called? The Night Manager.
The Night Manager.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it was with him, that guy from House, Hugh Laurie,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wife in Tenet, the one that we didn't like.
Oh, man, she be in some stuff. She's not
a lot
that
of
old
stuff.
either. She's like 28 or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
she's not like old, but
Like
she's
she was
been in
like
a lot of stuff.
24 when she did Guardians movie.
Yeah, but she looks exactly the same.
She looks exactly the same.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, she's just super tall.
Yeah, but you know, like you're 24, you should look 24. So,
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you always looked 40, so
All right,
wow.
well, that's it with Loki. But no, okay. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in episode 3 of Loki. We'll catch up with you guys next week for that. Let us know what you thought about Loki. What's going to happen with the timeline? And what do you think about the timekeepers? Are they good or are they bad or something in between? Let us know.
Until next time, true believers.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Believers of truth.
Until next time. Here. So if you want to reach out to us, you can at Gmail. We're 3drivals@gmail.com. You can reach us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/3drivals. And you can tweet at us on Twitter at 3_rivals. Other than that, thank you for watching, guys, and peace out.